All right. So as we're talking about, all of us, we're talking about biblical dating. All of us mentioned that we want a spouse, a husband or a wife who's loving, who will bring us joy in our home, be peaceful, be patient, kind, good, faithful, right? We all want this person to marry, right? Be gentle, have self-control. The only way to have that is by Jesus being their Lord. And then we've been talking about this brick wall, other layers of this bricks. Last week we talked about just general maturity. This week we're going to move a little quick. I'm going to give you 3 layers. These 2 really quick, and then this one we're going to spend a little more time on. And then next week we will finish off this illustration and then let you guys study your exams. So once again, this is a brick wall illustration. The more bricks that a person has, the more potential they have to be a good spouse to you, right? So we're going to talk about this next layer of bricks, which let's just call it their intellectual life. Okay? Intellectual life. We all have different, a person has a spiritual life, they have emotional life, they have a social life, they have a physical life. So here, intellectual, okay? Intellectual. So just some bricks to look for in their intellectuality, or in their intellectual life. You know, do they read Christian books? If they read Christian books, what does that tell you about the person? Yeah, they're eager to learn more. Do you think that's a good sign of someone who would be like this? Okay, so that's something to look forward to. By the way, we have a whole library of books. If you'd like to, any books to read, just let us know. Another brick, you know, are they smart? Do you want to marry someone who's smart? You know, just kind of look for that in their life as you're spending time with them. Are they smart? Last one here. They are constantly trying to better themselves in some way. Maybe they're trying to learn a language, another language. Maybe they're trying to get another certificate or taking some online classes, whatever it may be, right? Sure, going to the gym, that wouldn't be intellectual, that would be more of another layer, but sure, but just look if they're growing themselves and improving themselves. This next layer, personality, right? Now, interestingly, a person you're interested in might have many of these bricks in their life, but yet you might not have a similar personality. You might not be able to stand each other. And so this is our first brick. Do you get along with each other? Do you get along with each other? Remember, marriage is 30, 40, 50 years. Do you enjoy the other person? Is it easy to talk to them? Is it easy to listen to them? Do you just enjoy being around each other? Does that make sense? Getting along with each other. All right. The next one, can you sorry? you laugh together? Do you guys have a similar sense of humor? Do you laugh at the same jokes? Or does one person have a sense of humor that's maybe even inappropriate? Maybe they laugh at sexual or jokes with bad language. And maybe you find that even just disgusted while the other person just laughs. So can you laugh together? Do you have the similar sense of humor? Can you have fun together? Do you enjoy each other? Next one. Do you have similar interests? Guys, will she watch soccer with you? Will she support your team? No, can you get the idea? Can you do things together? Do you enjoy the things that she likes to do, guys? And can you do them? Right? So I think you get the idea, right? Just do you get along with each other? Do you laugh? Similar interests, right? 50 years, it's a long time. Last one, we're going to spend the remaining time on this layer because it's a very important one that we should get some things established. Our physical life. Our physical life. Now for this first layer of bricks, I'm going to pick on you guys a little bit because men are the ones who usually make this mistake. It's usually men. And so I just want to look at this verse. You can grab a piece of paper there if you don't have, and a pen. Yep, welcome, you're welcome. So if we could just, Hophni, could you read this for us nice and loud for us? Proverbs 31, verse 30. I want you to notice this little phrase here. Does beauty last? You know, guys, here's usually how guys work. And you guys will agree, but ladies, just so you know. But guys place a very high, they value their beauty so much in their wife that sometimes it even becomes, it even becomes so important they overlook even these other bricks. That's what some guys do. And some guys even go all the way. They're just completely, just has to be B-E-A. To the point where that's the only thing that matters to you. Now, is that wise? It's not wise because the Bible says what? You know, eventually, all of us will look like this, isn't it? We all will be there someday. And if you're just marrying for beauty, that might cause some problems later on in your life, in your marriage. Because once the lady gets old, maybe the guy will then go find younger, more attractive ladies. And so you can see the Bible gives us some wisdom here. Don't place such a high value on beauty. Remember, there's other bricks that we need to always be mindful. Okay? Does that make sense? But also, let's just even use our own logic on this one. Many people marry for beauty, right? We could do a Google search here and just Google your favorite actors and your favorite musicians and just see how many times they've been married and divorced. Right? You guys know how many times actors, these beautiful people, have been married and divorced? Who's an example? Give us a guy that you ladies are very attracted to. Give us a lady, an actor, and let's just do a test. Johnny Depp. What do we got? Johnny Depp. Johnny Depp is in the news here recently. He said, what is it, name? Regina Daniels marriages. That's the husband. Okay. So it looks like just once for this one. Or is it multiple? Because you didn't consider beauty. Oh, okay. Yeah. You guys are tricky. Just look at what you made. All right. Well, anyway, but you guys could just do that. Many people marry just for beauty, especially some of those famous actors. And yeah, just do a Google search. And many of them have been married 3 to 4 times. Angelina Jolie, Brad Pitt, some of your favorite movies. All right. And so that's just a little test. We can use the world and look at their standard just to even help us, okay? Let's do just Angelina Jolie. You guys remember this lady? Do you recognize her? There we go. We got three husbands here. All right. For 3, the other for a couple, right? Right. And I think what we can learn something from this. Can we change a person when we marry them? No, okay, so they don't have so many bricks in their life, but no, I'll still get married because I'll change them. Does changing them work? Many people go through a divorce, right? We can just use our own logic and just to try and figure that part out. So one part, we can't change people, and beauty and money, they're not going to strong enough to keep a marriage together. Right? These people had lots of money, isn't it? Yet it still didn't work. So are we on the same track? Those things kind of make sense. Some people like to believe those lies. No, as long as she's beautiful, we'll stay married forever. No, if there's money, then there's no problems. And if there still are problems, I'll change them after we're married. Please protect yourself. Don't believe some of those lies, okay? I want you to be married for a long time. Long time to a person that will love you, give you joy, peace, patient, be kind to you, be good. Right? So let's just try and be wise. I want to move to this last brick here. And this one, we're going to put in your sexual control. Sexual control. Now, if a person does not have control in their life, in this area of their life before they're married, please don't believe the lie that they will have control in it after they are married. If they're watching pornography before marriage, they probably will be watching it after. Same with masturbation. If they are masturbating before marriage, they probably will masturbate after. Some people believe the lie. No, they just have sexual desires. We need to just get married so then we can satisfy those desires. Partly true, but they still need control in this area. Why? What happens when you're not feeling well? What happens when the lady is on her period? Can the person demonstrate self-control? It's our Galatians 5 verse 6. Or will they go out and find some other lady to meet their desires, or just look at pornography? What happens after you give birth, ladies? And it takes a little while for you to heal and recover. Do you want a man who will be faithful? Who will be patient? And who has some self-control in that area? Just one lady. Okay. Right? So look for that. And I just want to look at a couple quick verses here just to show you how important it is. All right. Dalton, can you just read 21 through 24 here? Just to give us an idea of how important our sexual life is.
Persuasive words delivered in state. She seduced even with smooth talk. All the ones who follow the way, like an ox going to the slaughter, like a deer stepping into a noose, till an arrow pieces his liver, like a bird darting into a snare. Little knowing it will cost him his life.
Now, just to give you a little bit of the theme, okay, this is a warning against the adulterous woman. And just to save time, I went right to the ending. But if you read the whole chapter, it kind of gives you an idea. But this guy was led astray by the woman, and she seduced him. What does that mean? Can you interpret seduce? What does the word seduce mean? It's a good. Okay, you're on the right track, but seduce means actually having sex. She seduced him. She had sex with him. That's what the word really means. Now, could the guy control himself? No, he didn't. And what was the result? Cost him his life. Do you see how important your sexual life is? Cost your whole life. All right? And the Bible does give us some good, a good method here to protect ourselves. Veko, can you read that for us?
Run from anything that stimulates youthful lust. Instead, pursue righteous living, faithfulness, love, and peace. Enjoy the companionship of those who follow the Lord with pure hearts.
Would you guys say sex would be a youthful lust? Is that something? Now, what does the Bible tell us to do when we have those? Why? See how important it is? You see how important it is? All right. All right, our last brick. Now that we kind of have an idea of how important that is, let's go to this verse here, 1 Timothy 5. We'll close out our time just thinking about this verse together. Okay? And this really gives us some good tips on how to treat each other when you are dating, when you have found that person. And so if we could, Silas, can you read that for us nice and loud, please?
Do not rebuke and call them pain harshly, but exhort as if you were your father. Treat younger men as brothers, older women as mothers, and younger women as sisters with absolute purity.
Okay. So let's fill in these blanks on your paper. What's this first blank? Older. And then, so we treat older men like your father, treat older women as mother, and younger men as brothers, and the younger woman as sister. And how should we treat them? With absolute purity. What does that mean? What does absolute purity mean? I think that's what the verse says here. Lloyd. Yep, you can answer Lloyd. Absolute purity. Lloyd, you can give us an answer since you raised your hand. Or anyone else? What does the word purity mean?
I just clicked it by mistake, say.
Oh, okay, it's fine. Okay. Well, let's pull up our define peer. When you don't know, then we can always go to Google and look. So the definition of peer, not mixed, or adulterated with any other substance or material. Pure, holy, sure, holy. So, and if it's absolute, that means we're really making sure that nothing is mixed in, right? We're really trying to be careful if it's absolute, right? So let's just use our our Bible study methods here. And I'm just going to ask some questions just to help us think about this verse. And to help us have a little bit of some guidelines on how we can treat each other and also treat each other when we are in the dating relationship. But first, does anyone have any brothers or sisters? Everyone? Does anyone not have brothers or sisters? So everyone does. Do you want something? Would you like your brother or your sister to get hurt by having a broken relationship or a bad relationship? You wouldn't want that, right? Most of us are pretty protective of our family, right? We want what's best for them. And if you remember a couple weeks ago, remember what a break in our life should be, we love people. Okay? So even when we're dating, our desire should be to treat the man or the woman as a brother or a sister. Do we want our brothers and sisters hurt? No. So we have to be careful. We have to be careful. So let me ask another question. Do you kiss your brother or your sister? Do you have sex with your brother or your sister? Okay. So when we're dating and courting, are we treating younger as brothers, and are we treating our women as sisters? Or how about this question? Guys, I'll direct this to you, and then I'll ask you ladies the same question. But guys, if a lady starts, trying to be like this Proverbs 7 lady, she starts giving you some smooth talk, trying to, and she wants to start kissing you, and starts touching you. Is that loving? Let me just go back to this question. You guys laugh. Is that loving? Now, ladies, how about if the guy starts doing that for you? He gives you some smooth talk also, starts touching you, and is trying to, trying to kiss you and get you to have sex with you. Is that loving? Question, well, what does that demonstrate to you about that person? Okay, maybe they don't have sexual control. Sure. What else does that tell us about that person?
treat you with absolute purity.
They're not treating you with absolute purity. Are they looking out for you? Trying to protect you as we would protect our own brothers and sisters? Would you say that? Do you think if they're trying to do that, that really shows that they value your spiritual life and your relationship with God? Or does it show that they really don't understand how serious their sexual life is? And your sexual life? And that they don't care if it even costs your life and their own life. Well, I want to suggest a couple of things. Okay? Because let's say we are in a dating relationship, right? You are in the dating relationship. And you know, God made us with sexual desires. Sex is a great thing. It's a wonderful thing that God created, but only if it's done correctly in the boundaries of marriage. But so it's good to recognize that we all have sexual desires. But now, if we are to treat each other as brothers and sisters with absolute purity, may I just suggest a couple of boundaries, or maybe just some loving things, just to stimulate our thinking. So if I want to treat this person I'm dating with purity, and I want to protect them as a brother or a sister, maybe it would be wise to, even when we start the dating relationship, to set some boundaries, to talk about our sexual desires, and to help each other know them so we can protect each other. Let me give you an example. Let's say the lady says, you know, I really get sexually aroused when we are alone. What would be a good brotherly thing to do in order to protect her as your sister and treat her with absolute purity? Anyone? How could we protect the sister if that's what she says? What would be a good boundary or something good to protect, help protect? Sure, making sure there's a third person around. So avoid being alone. Right? That makes sense. Would that solve the problem? Or you meet in a public place. Maybe you two just sit out here at the bench where there's other people around. Will anything sexual happen when you're there in a public place? It's a way to be protective, right? How about if the guy says, you know, I really get sexually excited just by touch. From kissing, even to hugging, when I feel your breasts on my chest. Boy, I just lose control and it gets me really excited. Ladies, how could you help protect your brother from sexual sin? Oh. Right. All right. Let's do another one. What if she says, no, I really get sexually excited by the sweet words and the emojis. Boy, it just really gets me excited. You guys get the idea, right? You guys get the idea. And so it's just good. We are sexual beings. God created us that way. But let's be wise and let's help treat each other with absolute purity and protect each other so that we don't cost and lose our life and make big mistakes. Make sense? Let me ask another question. This one might cause a little bit of problems, but that's okay. We're going to go there. Ladies, what if the guys, all right, is it loving to dress in a way that shows off your body that gives your brother sexual desires? Is it loving to dress in a way that gives your brother sexual desires? Does that mean you can't look good? I don't think so. But can you see the problem when you're showing off your breasts, showing off lots of skin, that it could maybe possibly cause a brother to get sexually aroused? And just so you know, ladies, men are very visual people, which is why many of them really struggle with pornography, because they like visual images, pictures. And so if we understand that, how do we treat men with absolute purity, even with our dress? Ladies, do you want this kind of guy? A loving, joy, peaceful guy, patient, kind, good, faithful, gentle, self-controlled? Let me tell you a secret. If you want this guy, here's how to scare him away. Just show him your breasts, show him nice, wear those short skirts that completely show your legs. Show him when you dress like that, I guarantee you, you're gonna scare this guy away. Because a godly man, he values his sexual life. He knows the cost. And when he sees a lady who's trying to tempt him, You know what he does? 9, what does he do? He is gonna tondoka, matuka, matuka. He's at it. So ladies, I just encourage you to think about that with the way that you dress. All right? So are we on the, does that make sense? Are there any questions? Let me see how much time we have left here. Are there any, do we have any questions? We got 9 minutes remaining. We do. Okay, go ahead with a question. All right, so the question was, does absolute purity mean that I should not have any feelings for the other person? And I don't think that's what it means. Let's go back to our definition. Mixed with any substance or material. Yes, maybe that's not a good, but I don't think that's what it means. I think this is more so just maintaining the sexuality. You're keeping your feelings separate from your sexual desires. Because if you don't have feelings for the person, why would you even start dating them? I mean, feelings are natural. They're natural. You're going to have feelings, and having feelings for someone is not sin. But it's only when you cross the boundary into the sexual area. That's when I think we break that purity boundary. We're mixing our feelings with our sexual desires. Good question. Any other questions? All right. Then let me just summarize. All right. Remember, if you want to marry this kind of person who's going to give you, love you, who's going to fill your home with joy, be peaceful to you, be patient with you, be kind and good, faithful, gentle with you, and exercise self-control. If you want that person, right, the only way to get that person is by being that person. You got to be this person. And so I just encourage you to think about your own brick wall. Look at these bricks in your life. Are there any areas that you need to work on? Because now is the time to start working on it. That way, after you graduate and you get a job and that person comes into your life, you are then mature enough to enter into that dating relationship. So start working on it now and let us know if you want to start working on it. We can help you. That's why we're here. So I just encourage you to think about these bricks in your own life. And are there areas of your life that you need to work on in order to grow? So that you can get this person and that you guys can be married for 50 years together for the rest of your life. And look like this together. I just think it's a funny picture, sorry. Well, good. Well, with that, we will pray I'm gonna stop the